Inspired by true events. Okay, so, imagine witnessing the death of your family as a child, becoming a gladiator and then, having to survive. We start off in some 62 AD village being overrun by some Romans. This little boy wakes up to peace and quiet, but then opens the noise-insulated curtains to witness the wiping out of his fellow Celtic people, with both his father and mother being sent to the other world by this wannabe Chad, aka Corvus. Little Milo survives by pretending to be dead, fends for himself after being made an orphan. But he is found by these chumps and is taken as a slave to Londinium, the capital of Britannia. Fast forward 17 years later in some death pit. This overfed slave owner dude, with Sharingan hair, is clearly bored and uninspired with the display at hand.
You dragged me from a perfectly adequate brothel for this.
He asks for something new and
Fresh.
just on cue, badass Milo walks in and defeat Aquaman and his sidekicks effortlessly. The crowd goes wild and chant as he walks away. Because of his amazing skills, they decide to transfer him along with the others to Pompeii to battle on the big stage. On their way, a horse carrying a carriage snaps its neck after being startled. Cassia, daughter of an aristocrat, and her servant, Ariadne, step out to tend to it. But Milo sees it is in pain and asks to be unchained.
The horse is in pain, you ignorant pig.
Cassia gives him permission and he puts the horse down because apparently that was the kindest thing to do. She automatically falls in love with him because she
Can't believe he had the strength to do that.
Finally, they arrive at her home. Cassia goes to see her parents, Severus and Aurelia, after a year in Rome. Apparently she run back because Rome is corrupt under the new emperor. She soon reunites with her horse and discusses their love for these creatures with her horse servant. He tells her that it will be trained tonight, ready for her the next day. Meanwhile, Milo arrives at his new abode and is being fed some delicious gladiator food. We then have a cliché prison moment where a group comes to the main guy and fight him for something he did. In this instant, he killed one of their brothers and they want to know his name, but he refuses and whoops them. Just before he is about to send the guy to meet his brother in the afterlife, the guards come and break the fight. Milo, whom everyone knows as the Celt, is put into the naughty cell with his soon-to-be rival, Atticus. We cut to Mount Vesuvius where Felix is training the horse, but he's swallowed up by an earthquake whilst the horse runs for its life. Back to the cell, Atticus learns he has to fight Milo to gain his freedom after one last victory. To prepare for their big day, they train in the arena to scope each other out. Later that night, Corvus, who arrived earlier in the day, informs Severus that his hopes of the emperor investing in the city are highly unlikely. Not long after, an earthquake strikes anxiety into the horses' hearts. Unable to calm them down, they call Milo, who puts them in a tranquil state, and then he takes Cassia on a ride. They reach the hill and she tells him to run for his freedom, but he refuses, fearing she will be punished. Upon returning, Corvus is ready to kill Milo for touching his dream girl, but she pleads for his freedom, saying Milo saved her life. Corvus concedes but orders for Milo to be given 15 lashes. My guy received 15 lashes with honor and didn't make a single sound.
Okay.
This earns the respect of his rival Atticus, who tends to his wound back at the cell. The two become acquaintances and share their story and hatred for the Romans. The day of fighting is upon us and the amphitheater is full. Graicus senses something wrong and addresses Severus about it, but when he dismisses it, Graicus dips out of town. Back to the arena, the gladiators are chained to a rock, limiting their range of motion. They are then attacked by other gladiators who dress as Roman soldiers to reenact Corvus' victory over the Celts 17 years prior. The battle rages on, leaving only our two heroes Milo and Atticus. Milo defiles the Roman regime.
I do not yield to the power of Rome! I spit on it!
He would not dare.
Oh, he would. He breaks the flag in half and throws the pointy end at Corvus, but it is blocked by his guard. Corvus dispatches archers into the arena and is ready to put thumbs down despite the obvious outcry from the crowd to let them live. But Cassia puts a thumbs up which spares their lives but angers Corvus and leads to Cassia being locked up in the villa. An earthquake shakes the crowd. They react by doing the 10 toes, but Corvus reassures them this is a sign from the gods and then they should stay and watch the one-on-one battle between Milo and his officer Proculus. The heated fight is full of. It does not take long before it is interrupted by the eruption of Mount Vesuvius, which creates a huge tremor resulting in the collapsing of the arena. Milo and Proculus are submerged into the dungeons where the other gladiators are kept. These fools are still fighting. Do they not feel the urgency? Milo opens the gates to allow the gladiators to attack, but Proculus escapes, trapping Bellator for them to deal with. Back to the surface, Corvus is knocked out. Severus tries to finish him, but Corvus somehow has a spidey sense moment, pulling an Uno reverse. The eruption sends flaming rock down upon the city as the populace tries to flee in horror to the harbor. Graicus, who saw this coming, manages to flee in one of the ships, but a flaming rock with impeccable accuracy hits his ship. Elsewhere, Milo is informed that Cassia is being held in the villa. He races over and saves her, but unfortunately, Ariadne is killed when the villa collapses. Meanwhile, Atticus tries to head to the harbor, but is forced to retreat, saving a woman and her child when a massive tsunami envelops the city, resulting in a reunion with Milo and Cassia. They head towards the arena in search of horses to escape, but Cassia departs to say goodbye to her parents, but alas, The simp Corvus is there to capture her. The duo return to the surface after retrieving some swords, only to find Cassia chained to a chariot and whisked away by her stalker in shining armor. The two defeat the remaining Roman soldiers whilst Atticus faces Proculus in a one-on-one battle which results in both their demise. Milo gives chase, avoiding falling balls made of flames. Just when it looks like he has been consumed by the fireball, he emerges with the help of 1,000 everlasting mega chads. Cassia manages to free herself, which causes the chariot to crash. They engage in a final duel, but Cassia sees an opening and chains Corvus to a fixed object. Milo picks up a sword to kill him, but he exclaims,
Wait! Who are you to do this to me?
He reveals to Corvus that his family were killed by him 17 years ago, and they leave him chained to be blanketed by the pyroclastic surge as they escape on the horse. Before long, on the outskirts, the horse has enough and throws them off his back.
Get off me! That's my ear!
Knowing they both cannot outrun the surge, Milo tells Cassia to take the horse and leave. She instead sends the horse off, choosing to stay and spend her last moment with her mans. They share a passionate kiss as the surge engulfs them.